Narcissistic narcissus. This poignant story is set in idyllic surroundings where intersecting brooks ran deep into the woods, as if mixed emotions trickled down the hearts of our protagonists, Echo and Narcissus. Echo was a nymph dwelling in the forest. Even though she might not be as captivating as the major goddesses, she was still a ravishing sight on earth in her tunic and garland. As the ablest attendant to Diana, the goddess of hunting, Echo was always the one who spotted the game way ahead of her companions and made the first move in the chase. For all her abilities in the hunt, Echo had a flaw in her character. She talked too much. Once her lips parted, she could never hold her tongue. Once being deep in idle gossip, she could shoot her mouth off in rapid succession. On one occasion, Hera, the queen of the Olympians, rushed to the woods to seek her husband Zeus, who was having the time of his life with a crowd of nymphs. Consumed in a fit of rage and jealousy, Hera was determined to kill anyone having an affair with her debauched husband. For fear of an ensuing slaughter, Echo resorted to talking endlessly with the queen, hoping to buy time for the nymphs to go into hiding. However, such a strategy did not really work before Hera. To lock this chatterbox forever, the queen deprived Echo of her faculty of speech. From now on, she could only repeat what others said, and this was the moment her fate was sealed. One day, when Echo was splashing around with other nymphs in the stream, she caught sight of a young man who tugged her heartstrings. He was Narcissus. If he lived in modern-day society, he should have full potential to be a heartthrob. Let us see how he stirred the scene when strolling down the vales nonchalantly but charmingly. Some nymphs gazed at him in amazement. Some swooned with delight. Some had their tongues benumbed, while the remaining squirmed restlessly behind the foliage. We might expect that he should be basking in the ladies' attention, but surprisingly, his response to every one of them was all the same, walking away without a backward glance. Maybe repeated efforts can help me win his heart, thought Echo. Thanks to her swiftness in movement, she could stalk her Prince Charming hither and thither. Everyone has a breaking point, and Echo was no exception. Once she stood behind a grove, which was not far away from Narcissus, hoping that she could get all the feelings off her chest. But the problem was, she could not speak first. Narcissus, startled by somebody around, demanded a clear understanding of her intentions. "Who's here?" asked Narcissus. "Here," Echo replied. "Come to me," ordered the young man. "Come to me," thus repeated. "Why do you evade me?" Narcissus inquired impatiently. Here came the fading sound. "Evade me?" "Let's stay together." The young man hoped the speaker would finally show up. "Stay together," thus spoke Echo. Scarcely had the words left her lips when the maiden flung herself into Narcissus's arms. But what she got was the opposite. "Keep your hands off me," he shouted, irritated. "How dare you come close to me?" Being spurned, Echo could only murmur, "Come close to me." Hardly a day went by without her thinking of him, without imagining lying pliant in his arms or planting a kiss on his lips. Every fervent hope proved to be futile, and Echo was left alone with her heart smitten and her eyes swollen with tears. Gradually her youth and beauty faded with grief, and her body parts were all transformed into rocks and sand. Some time later, another nymph, whose heart was broken as completely as Echo's, vowed to be revenged on this unfeeling lad by praying, "May he strive to love somebody who never loves him." Life went on for Narcissus. One day, when he bent to drink water from a placid fountain, he was entranced by his own reflection. Never had he come across such a tantalizing figure. Never had he tasted the sweetness of love before. Since then he could not lift his eyes off the image. What he wanted was to hold him, hug him, and kiss him. However, when he laid a finger or placed his lips on the water, the image scattered with ripples. Just when he realized this was an illusion and decided to leave, the image resurfaced and ensnared him again. To achieve his heart's desire, he whispered again and again, "I will be here with you. Do you hear me?" As no reply was ever given by the reflection, tears kept running their course on his cheeks. Narcissus understood so well that a teardrop would be enough to drive the image away, but he just could not fight back his tears. Vitality was wiped off his face by this unrequited love. He pined away and died as a loner. With all their flesh gone, the names of the protagonists still live on to this day. We can still hear the voice of Echo when we shout out our grievances in a valley. Echo herself has also become an indispensable part of an audio system. How about Narcissus? When the nymphs came to the spot where his body lay and tried to bury him, they found nothing there but a flower whose yellow center was surrounded by white petals. What's more, we have a new term in psychology, narcissism.